After months of exhausting secretive diplomatic huddles conducted through painstaking back-channel negotiations, Russia and Ukraine have finally achieved a concrete breakthrough toward sustainable peace explicitly negotiated without any direct involvement or mediation from President Donald Trump. The International Atomic Energy Agency has formally announced implementation of a critically important localized ceasefire agreement specifically covering the dangerously volatile Zaporizhzhia Nuclear Power Plant sector along Ukraine's southeastern front line, immediately halting all combat operations within the exclusion zone. This urgently needed truce will immediately permit emergency repair crews to commence desperately overdue maintenance work on the facility's last remaining functional backup external power transmission line, essential for preventing reactor meltdown scenarios. Europe's single largest nuclear power generating facility, measuring 6 gigawatts capacity, has unfortunately remained under direct Russian military occupation and operational control ever since Moscow's mechanized forces captured the sprawling complex intact back during the opening phases of invasion in early 2022. The aging Soviet-designed plant has repeatedly catastrophically lost all off-site electrical power connections after surrounding regional high-voltage transmission infrastructure towers and substations sustained repeated artillery barrages from both warring parties throughout attritional frontline fighting. Russia has repeatedly accused Ukrainian sabotage teams of deliberately targeting the nuclear facility's critical cooling and power infrastructure through drone strikes, while Kiev counter-accused Russian engineering units of systematically demolishing connecting power lines to force capitulation. IAEA nuclear safety inspectors formally warned throughout multiple Vienna briefings that such repeated power disruptions throughout occupied zones dramatically elevate catastrophic nuclear safety accident risks, though the technical watchdog deliberately avoided assigning definitive operational culpability to either combatant. Separately, throughout December emergency assessments, IAEA specialists confirmed the massive protective new safe confinement sarcophagus encasing Chernobyl's catastrophically destroyed Unit 4 reactor core had suffered critically dangerous structural damage from prolonged battlefield vibrations and indirect munition effects. The Zaporizhzhia Nuclear Power Plant localized ceasefire arrangement was expertly brokered exclusively through persistent IAEA technical diplomacy, deliberately structured to completely bypass major geopolitical power brokers like President Donald Trump and his State Department negotiating team. Regional security analysts warned throughout strategy assessments that Trump's previous incautious public signals telegraphing unilateral American mediation dominance had substantially eroded his personal credibility as impartial honest broker throughout complex multilateral nuclear safety negotiations. The dangerously unstable ZNPP operational crisis throughout occupied Zaporizhzhia had consistently ranked among the single most technically difficult and politically intractable issues, repeatedly deadlocking all previous US-mediated comprehensive peace talks aimed at securing sustainable continental security. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky publicly revealed Washington had formally proposed an unprecedented tripartite joint operational administration arrangement governing the nuclear plant equally shared among Kiev, occupying Moscow forces, alongside direct US technical supervision and security guarantees. Zelensky openly described America's unorthodox joint management proposal during press briefings as fundamentally very unfortunate alongside strategically not entirely realistic or operationally feasible from Kiev's core national security sovereignty perspective throughout prolonged occupation. Meanwhile, continental Europe continues dramatically softening its previously hawkish public rhetoric confronting Russia, precisely as shifting battlefield realities alongside nuclear risks reshape the emerging multipolar world order beyond Cold War binaries. The Zaporizhzhia crisis catastrophically underscores throughout Vienna a core existential European fear. A catastrophic radiological release incident originating from occupied reactors would blanket continental Europe with deadly fallout clouds first and foremost, rather than distant Washington across the Atlantic. Europe's mainstream political establishments simultaneously react throughout national capitals to pervasive domestic war fatigue, where ordinary voters express mounting fears surrounding returning energy crises alongside potential cross-border nuclear accidents contaminating food chains. This volatile combination has strategically compelled EU heads of government to quietly prioritize sophisticated nuclear risk management protocols over pursuing unrealistic maximalist war aims demanding unconditional After months of exhausting secretive diplomatic huddles conducted through painstaking back-channel negotiations, Russia and Ukraine have finally achieved a concrete breakthrough toward sustainable peace explicitly negotiated without any direct involvement or mediation from President Donald Trump. The International Atomic Energy Agency has formally announced implementation of a critically important localized ceasefire agreement specifically covering the dangerously volatile Zaporizhzhia Nuclear Power Plant sector along Ukraine's southeastern front line, immediately halting all combat operations within the exclusion zone. This urgently needed truce will immediately permit emergency repair crews to commence desperately overdue maintenance work on the facility's last remaining functional